Hello, this is Colin Liddell, and this is the Shortpod, a brief and succinct podcast commenting on the events and issues of the day. And today it is the 8th of December, 2025. As usual, the world has gone totally mad again, and Europe is now sandwiched between the evil Russian Empire and the evil American Empire, with the evil Chinese Empire just over the horizon. Meanwhile, the Europeans remain divided, confused, timid, and distracted. But at least they've started to fine Elon Musk for turning Twitter into a giant Russian propaganda machine. Right now, our politics are in a complete mess, and this is mainly due to the open nature of the West being hacked by political opponents to undermine it, to promote polarization, to promote fake news, to promote all sorts of dubious characters. And this has led to Donald Trump being elected in America. Donald Trump seems to be doing all he can to destroy what we know of as the West. This has been confirmed by the latest national security strategy document that was published recently, where Europe is the enemy, and a document to which the Russians nodded approvingly. Now, unlike Putin, Trump doesn't have absolute power in the United States. He doesn't even have absolute power in his own party. He dominates his party. He intimidates the members of his party. They go along with what he says. They live in fear of him. But they also look to the day when Donald Trump can be defeated and somebody else can take over the party. Trump has reinforced his position by putting in people like Vance. So if you get rid of Trump, you get Vance as president. A lot of people don't relish that possibility. But Vance would be much weaker than Trump because Vance simply doesn't have the charisma and the kind of personal authority that Donald Trump has managed to build up over many, many years of, rather chaotic and dramatic struggle. So Donald Trump has a Russian asset, as a Russian puppet, is not as strong as he seems. Also, the Kremlin and its bag of dirty tricks, which has been very, very successful, that's the strong side of the Russian Empire. The weak side is on the battlefield and the economy. There, the Russian Empire is treading on feet of clay and could collapse at any moment. Now, in Europe, the Putinist party is doing very, very well. In France, in Germany, in the UK, the leading parties in the polls are all Putinist parties. Reform UK, the National Rally in France, Alternative for Deutschland. They are all ahead in the polls, but they have yet to win national elections, and there remain doubts about their ability to do so. In the UK, Nigel Farage is running into a lot of problems right now. They've dusted off racism allegations from long ago. Russian funding for certain members of his parties have also been disclosed, and they are now attacking his election spending in his own constituency. This is all calculated to push Reform UK down and to push the Conservative Party back up. Whether it works or not remains unclear. In the UK, they don't need to have another election for at least 2 or 3 years. There's also a lot going on the left side of politics, destabilising the Labour Party from the left. France, I think they have an election next year. It's not clear if Marine Le Pen will be able to take over. In France, the key position is the presidency. Without the presidency, France will remain anti-Putinist. So it's key for the Putinists to put Marine Le Pen in. But Russia may well collapse before then. So the situation is extremely messy, but the battle lines are becoming much clearer. Just like the ambiguities around Putin disappeared in 2022 when he launched a full-out attack on the Ukraine, so the ambiguities about people like Nigel Farage and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk, these ambiguities are also starting to disappear. And what we're now seeing is that these characters are much more firmly on one side of the line, and the rest of us are much more firmly on the other side of the line. This is not to say that the West is great, the West has no problems, the West is brilliant. Actually, it's not. The West is only in this bad position because in many ways it is rotten at the core and it does need to be revived and reborn in some way. But the main problem the West really has is that its dissident political movements, the place from which new ideas and new directions can emerge, has been hacked and turned into a weapon to be used against it. Over and out.